everyone, welcome back to the Citizens channel and our little preview show. A very interesting game we've got coming up on New Year's Day, the 1st of January in 2022. I've looked at my little thing on the screen here. It says 1922. Yes, well, there you go. Only 100 years out. Yeah, we're going to have a look at the match preview of that at 12:30 p.m. kickoff, of course, at the Emirates. So, yes, I will be hopefully down there. Obviously, we now know Arteta's got COVID, so I'm hoping that the first team don't start dropping like flies and it has to be called off. But we'll see, won't we? But I am down there, so I'm setting off about 5 o'clock in the morning to make sure I try and get there for lunchtime. A nice way to spend your New Year's Day, isn't it? But these companies like BT don't care, do they? Or Sky or whatever, that's how it is. So, we'll have a look at Arteta's Arsenal. As I said, it'd be interesting to see what happens, but without him there, obviously his number 2 will be in charge. Of course, I was trying to predict are starting and have a look at theirs as well, on the basis of what we know at the moment, without any COVIDs or whatever happens. And the match is being shown on BT Sport, of course. We've got Mr. Stuart Atwell is the boss. He's in charge. He's the referee with his Linos Constantine Hatzadikis and Simon Long. His fourth official is Mr. Kevin Friend. And on VAR, we have Mr. Gillay. I think he was on the other day, wasn't he? Jared Gillay, he's on VAR. On coffee duty, we've got Derek E, and he's keeping Mr. Gillay sorted out with his coffee or tea, whichever his preference is. Yeah, last time out, obviously at the Emirates, 21st of February, as I'm recording this, nearer the start of 2021, a 4:30 p.m. kickoff, a 1-0 win for City, of course. Interesting, a second-minute Sterling glancing header. We thought it was, happy days. We thought it was going to be another hammering, didn't we? Ultimately decided that game, and it certainly wasn't a vintage City performance, but a lack of ideas from Arsenal, to be honest with you. I don't think they were brave enough. I might use that word today when I look at this. Look forward to this match, but it was a reasonably safe 1-0 by the end of it, even though, as I said, they never really looked like getting an equaliser. We always looked in control, but saying not a vintage City performance by any means. Our overall record at their place isn't great, is it, guys? I mean, obviously it was awful at Highbury. This has shown signs of improvement now at the Emirates. Obviously we've done very, very well there, but overall we've played 93. This is in the league. 118. That's all. 18. That's probably the lowest, one of the lowest. I mean, that's down there with probably the Liverpools, and we won far more than that. United, obviously, even before the last few years. Drawn 22 and lost 53. We scored 90 and let in 164. So, Arsenal got quite a lot of catching up to do. You know me. I like those to be a bit more even, or us in control, if you like. Please check out my little History Boys feature. I look back to a game at Highbury back in 1961. Yes, I wasn't there, guys. Don't start. I was born. I was 18 months old approximately, but I look back at a little game, a 9-goal thriller at Highbury in 1961. So if you can check that out, that'll be absolutely fantastic. Odds to win the match, please, when the funds stop. I don't condone gambling in any way. City are 1-2 on. That's not bad, is it? That's tempting. You very rarely get that sort of price with City. That is very tempting if you think City are going to win 1-2 on. I don't mind betting odds on. A draw is 15-4. And Arsenal to win. If you Arsenal fans want to risk an odd 50p, is 5-1 for Arsenal to win. Please check out my special odds feature as well, which will be published after this comes out. So have a look at that as well if you're interested in that side of the game. I don't condone gambling, but you like to have a little flutter. Have a look and let me know what you're doing as well. Right, how's it going to pan out? Well, they had no midweek game, did they? Wolves cried off, obviously, with the COVID situation. So they do have problems with their own Arsenal, but obviously that would have given them a little bit of rest for certain players that wouldn't have been able to play anyway. But they do come off a Boxing Day comfortable win, didn't they? I mean, obviously, bottom club Norwich, but it was still an impressive 5-0 win there. Next week, on the Thursday, they've got a Carabao Cup semi-final. Remember the Carabao Cup? I think it used to be our cup, that, didn't it? They've got a first leg Carabao Cup semi-final with Liverpool next Thursday, but I think this is going to be their priority in the fourth in the league. So, they're going to make this a priority. And I'm sure they won't be resting anybody for that game, even though it's a semi-final, to be honest with you. And of course, Arteta won't be there on the bench. But there you go, injury-wise. The only other guy who's actually injured, I think, is Kolasinac, is it? Kolasinac, yeah, however you pronounce that. My apologies. He's the only sort of main injury, as far as I know, looking through their sort of little sites and stuff on Arsenal. The African contingent, of course, can play. They won't be flying out to AFCON till after this. So they have an African, I think there's 3 or 4 African players that will be leaving. And you've got, COVID-wise, yeah, as far as I know, it's got Tomiyasu, Chambers, Maitland-Niles and Suarez, Soares. They're all sort of been suffering from COVID. It's a possibility Chambers might be okay now. I might be back in some sort of light training. I'm not too sure, but may come too early for him to play a part in this. Arsenal's home league form is excellent, absolutely. I mean, it's up there, one of the top. You know, if they'd replicated that away from home, they would be challenging us at the top of the table. They certainly won't be as many points behind us as they currently are. They played 9, won 7 and drawn 1 and lost 1 at home, and their only defeat was the first game of the season. So they lie fourth mainly because of the poor away form. They've lost 5 away from home. That seems a problem. But at the Emirates, they could be really up for this. And although things haven't gone their way recently against us, as I said, I think if they were a little bit braver last year, they might have done better. And that was Arteta, obviously. Arteta was in charge last season. And they've been a bit more braver. And I think if they go a bit more toe-to-toe with us this time, all right, they might get. So we might be on top form, City. We might totally, it might be a 6-3 again. Who knows what it might be? But I think it's worth them having. I mean, don't tell them. Hopefully, no one from Arsenal's watching this. But I think if they go toe-to-toe, they might surprise us because they've not got a bad team. You look at like youngsters. You've got Saka, haven't they? Smith Rowe, Martinelli's having a great season. They've all been in great form. And obviously, we've not coped overly well with good, lively players, never mind skillful players, the last 3 or 4 games, even though obviously we've had some great results. It's not exactly... Yeah, there's a little not a worry. I'm sure if we play to our best abilities, as certainly when we look at our starting 11, there's a couple of players are key to us playing to our best, I think. But it would be very, very interesting. And but what effect will Arteta, no Arteta on the bench have? I'm not too sure about that, to be honest. We'll have to see, won't we? So I'm going to go for their team, guys. Let's have a look at this one. Let me know what you think. I'll go with Ramsdale, White, Holding, Gabriel, Tierney, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Saka, Lacazette and Martinelli. I think we'll go with that. See how many we get of that. I'll be happy if we get 8 or 9 of those, to be honest with you. I'm quite confident. As I say, Arteta will no doubt be picking the team, even though he's not on the bench. As for us, well, we do have some question marks, don't we, guys, after that Brentford victory, of course. We've got question marks against Rodri. I don't think there's any chance Rodri's going to be back for this one. Again, with the COVID side. And Walker, we still don't know what the hell is going on with Walker, do we? And obviously, it's Pep isn't being forthcoming. There's probably a reason for that he doesn't, obviously he doesn't want to go into. But those are 2 big misses for us. And I certainly think we missed them against Leicester. And I think we missed them against Brentford, to be honest with you. I mean, Fernandinho's done a great job. But 3 games in a week, which is what it'll be if he turns out tomorrow. I'm not too sure. And obviously Cancelo playing right back, it was his natural position. I thought it's pretty awful against Brentford. I mean, obviously, so perhaps he's not used to playing that role at the moment, and he has to get back in that routine. So obviously, I do think we'll stick with the same back 4. So I'm just hoping Cancelo might have to do a little bit more defending and a little bit stop giving the ball away, perhaps, in this game. So there you go. I mean, positives, of course, Foden looks really up for it. I was quite happy with that. And KDB looks, as always, back to some sort of form again. And, of course, we had Gundogan on the bench, didn't we, who can sort of come back in. And, and I'm thinking he's played in DM before, hasn't he, Gundogan? So I'm just thinking if it is too much for Ferner, perhaps we won't be surprised if we see Gundogan as well. So I think from the bench against Brentford, I think definitely we're going to see Sterling and Mahrez. I can't see us not seeing those 2. Can you? And obviously, I think we'll stick with the back 4. I think we'll stick with that back 4. I think Aki's had such a good game at left back. Why not stick him there again? I'd rather, based on what I saw, I'd rather him there than Zinchenko, to be honest with you. But obviously, Gundogan's an interesting one. But it all depends if Ferner. I mean, I'm gonna stick Ferner in my team. He'll be fit enough. I'm sure he's not doing any great training regime at the moment. I know they've stayed down in London, I think, after this Brentford game. But obviously, I won't be surprised to see Gundogan in there if Ferner doesn't turn out for this as a DM. So my City 11, based on that, Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte and Ake. So it's exactly the same back five. Fernandinho, if he's available. If not, I wouldn't be surprised if Gundogan's in there. Or even Stones, but it's a bit of a thing. We don't know if Stones is going to be fit either, do we? That's the problem. I mean, he could perhaps do it, but... not a game for experimenting. Try and stick to what people know, what people know what to do. So Ferner, hopefully, KDB, Bernardo, Foden, Sterling and Mahrez. So that's my 11. Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte, Ake, Ferner, KDB, Bernardo, Foden, Sterling and Mahrez. Please let me know what you think, guys. Right, some quirky stats. Yeah, interesting. Very quirky, these. Arsenal have lost their last 9 Premier League games against City. Manchester City since a 2-2 draw in April 2017. It's their longest ever losing run against an opponent in their league history. There's a good one. City have won each of the last 4 away league games against Arsenal by an aggregate score of 9-0. It's as many victories as City have picked up their previous 50 league visits to Highbury and the Emirates. Combined, won 4, drawn 14 and lost 32. That shows how the figures were so bad when that I read out earlier on, of course. Arsenal failed to score their last 5 Premier League games against City, only against Chelsea 6 between 2013 and 16, and Liverpool 6 between 1997 and 2000. Have the Gunners failed to score in more consecutive league games against an opponent? So the scoring, aren't they, I think, in this one. City have opened the score in the first 50 minutes in all 5 of their Premier League away games against Arsenal under Pep Guardiola, netting in the first 2 minutes in each of the last 2 seasons. Arsenal have only lost one of their last 10 Premier League games on New Year's Day. There, that was a good one for them. 1-8, drawn 1, going down 2-0 at Southampton in 2015. At home, the Gunners are unbeaten in 11 New Year's Day games, 1-9, drawn 2, since a 2-1 loss against Tottenham in 1985. City have won 7 of their last 8 Premier League games on New Year's Day, with the exception being a 1-0 loss at Sunderland in their title-winning season, or our title-winning season of 2011-12. Arsenal have won each of their last 5 Premier League home games, keeping a clean sheet in each of the last 4. Let's finish that off. Let's knock that off. They last won 5 in a row without conceding at home in the competition between January and April 1999. City's Raheem Sterling has scored in each of his last 3 Premier League away games against Arsenal. The only player to score in 4 consecutive Premier League away appearances against Arsenal is Nicolas Anelka, who did so between 2002 and 2009, twice at Highbury with City and at the Emirates with Bolton and Chelsea. There you go. Some great quirky stats there. Yeah. So I'm thinking, guys, it's going to be difficult, this one. I mean, would I take a draw? No, I'd take a win because we usually beat them there, don't we? I'll be quite happy. I'm hoping any cobwebs that we had against Brentford, let's face it, we did have a few cobwebs, and the fact that Arsenal play a little bit more enterprising than Brentford did will bode well. And as I say, I'll be a lot happier if we've got Rodri and Walker, but that's very doubtful. So I don't think it's going to be a hammer. It's not going to be a 5-0 like it was at the Etihad, that's for sure, at the start of the season. It's a different kettle of fish, this, totally, to that game. So I am going, hoping, wishing for a City win just to make it, keep that gap at the top there. So I'm sort of, but I'm thinking 2-1, 1-0. What do you think, guys? Let me know what you think anyway. I'm not going to go mad. I'd like to see a 2-goal winning margin. But I think it'll be a very, very difficult game. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. What are you going to do the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. We meet here again on the Citizens channel. I only ask one thing, don't I, guys? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.